Heartwarming revelation. Millionaire discovers amazing truth after poor girl's touching whisper. Maya stood behind the counter, fingers stained with dish soap, the hum of the bustling diner her soundtrack. At 22, she felt like a toddler holding a boulder ultra-heavy dreams of art school and a vibrant life drowned beneath a relentless tide of responsibilities. Her mother and younger brother depended on her. Ever since the family restaurant closed, a place filled with laughter and the sweet aroma of homemade pie, the weight pressed down on her like a lead blanket. The diner roared with life, a stark contrast to the ghosts of her former home. Amidst the clatter of plates and chatter of customers, her heart raced with every dollar earned. Each tip felt less like payment and more like a lifeline, a tether holding her family above water. She poured black coffee into steaming mugs, her eyes wandering out the window, wondering if hope waited outside in the sun. One fateful morning, serving coffee at a corporate breakfast, she overheard a voice that chilled her warm optimism. Nathan, a sharp-suited businessman, sat across the table from his colleagues discussing investments. "Community ventures are just distractions," he scoffed. "We need to capitalize on the trends. Leave the rest behind." Maya's blood boiled. His words cut like glass, revealing the chasm between their worlds, the comfortable disconnect that choked her dreams. Feeling the heat of anger and despair, Maya turned away, but she couldn't shake the image of Nathan. There he sat, polished yet empty, radiating loneliness wrapped in tailored fabric. Had he ever felt the warmth of real laughter or the fullness of honest connection? Was his life really any better than hers? Just then, a gust of wind blew, knocking a napkin to the floor. As she bent to grab it, her poem was scrawled upon it, detailing the heartbreak of her family's struggles. She could hardly breathe, understanding that her words hadn't just spilled onto paper. They dripped from her soul. "Hey," Nathan said, studying the crumpled piece of paper. His eyes widened, and his colleagues faded into shadows. This nothing," Maya interrupted, flushing. But he held the napkin before her like it was a treasure. The air shifted. A connection formed, the divide between them weakening. They spoke in hushed tones, sharing pieces of their lives. Maya felt lighter even as the burdens pressed down. But as days passed, pressure built. Nathan felt torn. He was suddenly grappling with his peers, pressuring him to snap up investments in struggling neighborhoods, the very places Maya called home. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." The rift between Maya and Nathan deepened as her mother disapproved of their friendship, and the stakes grew higher. Would Nathan choose the cold comfort of profit or the warmth of genuine connection? Maya leaned in, her voice shaky yet steady. "You have the power to change things. If only you'd believe in it." Tears glistened in her eyes, highlighting the urgency of her plea. The clock ticked louder, each second more heavy than the last. Moments of doubt gripped both their hearts. Was it truly possible to reshape lives, to challenge the very foundations of their existence? The crossroads approached. Would Nathan invest in something more than just money, or would fear swallow the chance to ignite change? All hearts beat wildly, the future uncertain. The question lingered. What choice would Nathan make when faced with the truth of Maya's words? Maya's heart pounded as Nathan's gaze held hers, the world around them fading into a blur of voices and clinking dishes. She could almost hear the clocks ticking, each second echoing her anxiety. The connection they found felt fragile, hanging by a thread. Would he grasp it, or would he let it slip away? Nathan's brow furrowed as he processed her words, the conflict evident in his eyes. I don't know, Maya. There's so much at stake. My partnership. If they find out I'm considering something like this, I could lose everything." The weight of his words struck her harder than she anticipated. $1 million decision hinged on her dreams. Is money worth your soul? She challenged, her words sharper than intended. You can't let fear dictate your choices. It's about more than just spreadsheets and profits. An awkward silence stretched between them, thickening the air like fog. Maya was terrified he'd retreat, throwing the connections forged into a void. But just as she thought he might, Nathan inhaled deeply, as if he was sucking in courage. You're right, he finally said, his voice barely above a whisper. But it's not just my life on the line. I have responsibilities. Responsibilities shouldn't shackle dreams. She managed, her heart aching for him. He looked away, the flicker of determination in his eyes extinguished. She hated how he was trapped in a cage of expectations. Just then, the diner door swung open, spilling light and laughter into the shadows of their conversation. A group of regulars entered, and the din of happy chatter filled the space. They moved through the diner like a swirling current, bringing an energy that felt like a lifebuoy amidst the sinking weight around them. Nathan's expression momentarily brightened as he watched the familiar faces, his shoulders relaxing. Maya caught a glimpse of the man he could be, one who understood connection beyond dollars and cents. What would it take to bring that man fully to the surface? Your customers think you're incredible, she said softly, trying to pull him back from the edge of apprehension. Those people, they recognize your potential to make a difference. You're capable of so much more. He turned back to her, surprise flickering in his eyes. You really think so? I know so, Maya affirmed, feeling the fervor rise within her. It starts with a choice. You have the means to invest, yes, but true wealth lies in what you give back. Nathan's lips curled into a slight smile, but Maya could still see the shadows lingering behind it. She knew they were not out of the woods yet. The social upheaval, the pressures from his colleagues, they would all come crashing down around him, possibly drawing a line between them that they might never cross with determination setting in. He looked at her and took a step forward. What if he began, hesitating just as hope ignited in her heart? What if I make that investment? What if I really get involved? Joy sparkled in Maya's chest, but she could already see the barriers rising. What about your job? What will they say? I don't care about that, he started, but the fear crept back into his eyes. What if I fail? Failing doesn't mean you're a failure, Maya replied, her voice steady again as she leaned in closer. It means you're trying. That's all that matters. If you care, I believe things can change. Suddenly, Nathan's phone buzzed on the table, interrupting the charged moment. He glanced at it, his face tightening. The screen flashed with a message. His boss wanted to discuss upcoming investments. They both knew what that meant. I have to go, he murmured, stepping back like a soldier unsure of the battle ahead. Think about it, Maya wanted to scream, to shake him and push him to understand. But as he turned away, a single tear slipped down Maya's cheek, and confusion washed over her heart. What did it mean for their fragile connection if he chose the safety of his corporate life over the leap into the unknown? As the door clicked shut behind him, she felt the weight of both their choices hanging in the air. Would he turn back or would he charge? Ahead on the path he knew? Hope thrummed in her chest even amidst the uncertainty. Outside, the sun began to set, casting hues of orange and purple across the sky, a reminder that every ending can lead to a new beginning. Would Nathan be brave enough to embrace the dawn of change? With her heart aching, Maya returned to arranging the tables, but the question clung to her mind. Could love and ambition truly coexist, or would one always have to yield to the other? Maya wiped her cheek, brushing away the salt of her tear, and forced herself to refocus on the day's tasks. The diner bustled around her, dishes clattering and voices mixing into an insistently cheerful melody. Yet, her heart felt like a solitary note, out of tune against the harmony. How was she supposed to continue when everything felt so uncertain? As the last of the customers trickled out, she took a moment to breathe. Leaning against the counter, she let her mind drift back to Nathan's smile, how it twinkled with possibilities. Could he really step out of his comfort zone and dive into the challenge she envisioned? Or would the safety of his corporate cage always ensnare him? Just then, the door jingled, and in walked an elderly woman, her wrinkles deep with laughter but her eyes glimmering with wisdom. "Hey there, Maya," she called out, leaning heavily on her cane. "I heard Mr. Big Shot has gone quiet on you." Maya chuckled, the warmth of the woman's presence melting the chill of her earlier fears. "It's complicated, Agnes. He's weighed down by expectations and responsibilities. That's always the trouble." "I senti it," Agnes replied, settling into her usual booth. "But sometimes the people holding you back are the ones you let. You can't build a life on someone else's dreams." Maya sank into a seat across from her, pondering her words. "But how do I help him see that? Sometimes it just takes a nudge," Agnes said, her voice gentle. "And truth is, you've already done more than most. You've shown him what passion looks like. Just be there when he's ready to take that leap." Maya nodded, feeling a flicker of hope igniting inside of her. Maybe she wasn't meant to push him. Perhaps all she needed was to keep the door open and let him choose when to walk through. A couple of hours later, as the diner closed for the night, Maya found herself restless. The golden, late-night glow of the neon sign outside flooded through the window, painting her thoughts with restless energy. She grabbed her phone and thumbed through memories, lingering on pictures from her activist days, the vibrant banners, and smiling faces united for a cause. Suddenly, her fingers stopped. There it was, a flyer for a community event focusing on local businesses supporting local causes. She had almost forgotten about it. A perfect opportunity for Nathan to join her world. What if she gently coaxed him out? Maya quickly crafted a message, summoning all the courage she could muster. "Nathan, there's an event tomorrow evening that connects businesses with community projects. I think you'd love it. Let me know if you want to go together." She hesitated, then hit send. The minutes crawled by as she waited for his reply. Each tick of her phone felt like a drumbeat punctuating her anticipation. Would he respond? Would he want to take that step into her world? Just as she was about to convince herself he wouldn't, her phone chimed. She leaned forward, heart racing, as she opened the message. "Sounds interesting, Maya. I'll come. Let us see where this leads." Elated, her heart soared. Maybe this was the beginning, a delicate balance of both their worlds intersecting. A chance for Nathan to see his potential, and for her to share her dreams. But deep down, an unsettling thought hovered. Could this one event truly bridge the gulf between ambition and love? Or was it merely a bandage on a deeper wound? As the stars blinked to life in the sky, Maya felt the thrill of possibility. She had dared to hope, and now, as she prepared for tomorrow, she couldn't shake the feeling that something big was drawing near. What awaited them at the event? Would it be the spark they both needed? Or would it expose the fears lurking just beneath the surface? The next evening arrived, draped in the kind of golden light that promised something extraordinary. Maya stood before her mirror, adjusting the collar of her favorite blouse. It had soft hues of blue, a subtle reminder of calm. She couldn't believe the butterflies swirling in her stomach. Today wasn't just another event. It felt like a turning point. She arrived at the venue early, a charming old theater that had been restored to its former glory. Strings of yellow lights twinkled above, and the scent of popcorn wafted through the entrance. "Deep breath, Maya. This is your moment to shine." As attendees filtered in, she scanned the crowd, searching for Nathan. Her heart thudded with a mixture of hope and nerves. Would he fit in here? Would he let his walls down even just for a moment? Finally, she spotted him just stepping through the doors. He looked out of place, the formal cut of his blazer clashing with the relaxed vibe of the event. But his eyes, wide with curiosity, ignited an ember of warmth within her. He caught her gaze, and a smile broke across his face, instantly easing her tension. "Hey," he said, making his way toward her. "Hi." Her voice lifted, buoyed by relief. "I'm so glad you made it." As they exchanged pleasantries, the atmosphere around them buzzed with excitement. Local artists showcased their work, small businesses displayed crafts, and community members gathered to share their stories. Nathan glanced around, clearly intrigued but also slightly out of his depth. "This place is different," he mused, his brow furrowed as he took it all in. Maya leaned closer, lightening the mood. "Welcome to the world of passionate people. Just wait until you try the homemade pie from that stand over there. It's life-changing. He chuckled, still scanning the vibrant venue. All right, you've sold me on the pie. Lead the way. As they meandered through the crowd, Maya felt a warmth blooming within her. Each moment, each smile, was a tiny thread weaving their lives a little closer. They shared laughter over quirky art pieces that seemed to reflect her soul. She could see Nathan's defenses slowly lowering, though he still clutched his phone like a life raft. Maya! A cheerful voice cut through her thoughts. It was Agnes, waving with a bright smile. Good to see you, dear. Enjoying the event? Oh, totally. Nathan's here with me, Maya replied, gesturing toward him. Agnes' eyes sparkled as she nudged Maya. You're in good company then. The real magic happens when you step out of your comfort zone. If only I knew what that felt like, Nathan interjected, his tone light but with a hint of sincerity. The moment hung between them, heavy with unspoken fears. Maya wanted to reach out, to tell him that being here, standing together beneath the glow of hope and possibility, was the first real step. Suddenly, they heard the familiar sound of a microphone being adjusted. The hosts of the evening stepped onto the small stage, their energy palpable. Welcome, everyone. Tonight is about connecting with our community, finding our shared passions. Maya exchanged a glance with Nathan just as the hosts invited attendees to share their stories. The realization hit her like a splash of cold water. Nathan's talent for business and her dreams for social change could dance together in this space. She turned to him, all excitement. You should volunteer to speak. Share your ideas. This could be perfect. His smile faltered. Me? No way, I'm not a speaker. In that moment, the fear in his eyes felt like a wall forming between them again. What if you let your passion guide you? She challenged gently, her heart pounding. What if you took a leap? The room hushed as a woman began to share her story, her voice trembling yet full of courage. Maya watched Nathan's expression shift as he listened. For the first time, she saw a flicker of understanding pass over his face. As the applause washed over them, she knew it was now or never. This was a fork in their road, and pending the direction he chose next, they could either find harmony or drift further apart. What if I just took one step? He whispered, barely loud enough for her to hear. Maya's heart raced. What next step would he take? Would he choose to join in this moment, or would he step back again into the familiar shadows? The evening was alive with possibilities, but it all hinged on his next decision. Nathan's hand subconsciously released his phone, a small yet impactful gesture that didn't go unnoticed by Maya. She felt the weight of his uncertainty, but there was a glimmer of hope as his eyes locked onto hers, searching for reassurance. He took a shaky breath, as if building courage from the very air around them. Okay, maybe I'll give it a try, he said, the words spilling out as if he were testing their taste. Really? Maya couldn't help the broad smile that spread across her face. You'll do amazing. Just speak from your heart. He nodded slowly, as if the idea was still settling within him. The moment felt monumental yet terrifying, almost as if the room held its breath, waiting for him to reclaim his place in the spotlight. The next speaker shared her story, outlining how she had overcome incredible odds to create a nonprofit that fed struggling families in her neighborhood. Her vulnerability resonated in the room, turning the air thick with empathy and admiration. Maya could feel Nathan leaning in, tethered to her side as his doubts began to dissolve in the warmth of shared experience. See? Maya nudged him, her voice low. You could inspire people just like that. He chuckled softly, his nerves still dancing. Inspire? More like stutter awkwardly. Before she could respond, he stood up, a mixture of surprise and determination etched across his features. The applause had faded, leaving the stage open, waiting. Maya's heart leaped. This was at the pivotal moment he could embrace. With careful steps, Nathan approached the microphone, glancing back at Maya for support. She gave him an encouraging nod, an invisible tether of belief connecting them. Hi, everyone. His voice was softer than intended, barely carrying to the back of the crowd. But there was something in the way he stood there, the authenticity of his presence, that drew the audience in. Maya held her breath, relating to the tension that crackled in the air. This was the very essence of vulnerability, a raw heart open to strangers. Nathan cleared his throat, bringing everyone's focus. I don't really speak in public, he admitted, running a hand through his hair. But when I heard about the woman who just spoke, it made me think about what we can all do together. As he shared his thoughts, a story began to weave itself, a story not only about business lessons, but about uplifting communities through collaboration. Maya watched in awe as his passion began to unfold, like a flower opening under the warmth of the sun. His voice grew steadier, more animated. I'm inspired by all of you, he continued, and it made me realize that maybe I can share an idea or two about building something meaningful, something that helps others. Maya's heart swelled as she witnessed the transition taking place. His nervousness transformed into something vibrant and alive. The audience was captivated. Nods of agreement and smiles of understanding rippled across the room. When he wrapped up his short speech, the room erupted in applause, thunderous and filled with genuine admiration. Nathan's eyes flickered with a mix of disbelief and joy. He returned to Maya, shaking slightly but grinning from ear to ear. You did it, she exclaimed, pulling him into a quick hug. Did I? Felt right. His voice was laced with wonder. Suddenly, the world around them felt like a blissful blur. Each face in the crowd reflected encouragement, connection, and the beauty of community. At that moment, Nathan truly stepped out of the shadows of doubt, and Maya felt herself stepping closer to him, her heart resonating with the possibility of new beginnings. But as the applause died down and the evening wore on, she couldn't help but notice the lingering uncertainty in his gaze, as if he was still asking himself what this transformation would lead to. What's next for you, Nathan? She asked, curiosity dancing in her voice. He hesitated, looking beyond the crowd toward the exit, a new worry creeping back into his expression. I don't know, Maya. What if I can't keep this up? The question hung between them, heavy with the weight of futures yet to be figured out. Would he retreat back to the safety of his old life, or embrace the new doors that had swung open? Maya felt the pulse of anticipation, her heart racing as she waited for his answer, knowing that their story was now shifting in a direction neither of them could fully anticipate. Nathan's gaze drifted to the shimmering lights above, a million possibilities swirling in his mind. He was still riding the high from his speech, the wave of applause echoing in his ears. Yet, the lingering doubt dug deep, rooting itself in his thoughts. Maya's question felt like a beacon in the dark. What was next? What if I'm just a flash in the pan? He admitted, his voice lower now, a stark contrast to the exhilaration just moments before. What if I can't replicate this moment? Maya took a step closer, her eyes unwavering. You won't know unless you try. This is just the beginning, Nathan. You found your voice tonight, and it's powerful. Don't underestimate that. He turned to her, the sincerity in her gaze warming him like the sun breaking through a cloudy dawn. But what if his voice trailed off, 1,000 what-ifs racing through his mind, each one a shadow threatening to extinguish the light of that magical moment? What if you inspire one person? Maya interjected gently, a spark of determination igniting between them. A ripple can turn into a wave. You've already started that wave tonight. He felt a warmth spreading through his chest at her words. She was right. Those few minutes on stage had sparked something in him, a passion, a desire to connect, to uplift. Maybe there was a way forward that didn't simply plunge back into the routine he had gotten so used to. You really think I could inspire someone? His brows furrowed as if the idea surprised him all over again. Absolutely, she said, a brightness in her tone that spurred him on. Imagine sharing your ideas, how to collaborate and lift each other up. You have experience, Nathan. You've built things. People need to hear about that. For the first time, he started to envision what that future could look like. He could help others find their voice too, those lost in the chaos, those who hovered at the edges of their own stories. What if, he declared slowly, a candle of hope flickering in his mind, what if I did workshops, help people find ways to collaborate or build community programs? Maya's eyes lit up like twinkling stars. That's it. You've got it. You could change lives, Nathan. Your story has just begun. He felt a rush of warmth flushing through him. The fear began to loosen its grip, rewritten by her encouragement. A burst of laughter escaped him as he imagined himself standing in front of a room full of eager faces, each one waiting to hear his thoughts, his experiences. "I'll need a partner," he said with a grin, his inspiration bubbling up. "Someone to keep me grounded, to push me when I'm sliding back into doubt." Maya tilted her head, playful mischief dancing in her eyes. "Is that a proposition? Assuming I'd be good enough to be your partner?" "Absolutely. You're already doing it." He chuckled, the nervousness from earlier now replaced with excitement. "You've been my biggest supporter tonight." As they stood in the bustling corridor, surrounded by the noise of laughter and conversation, he knew this new path would not be easy, but for the first time in a long while, it felt right. However, there was still one question inhaling the joy from the moment. But what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? "Failure is part of growth," Maya said adamantly. "You can't grow without risking a fall." "True," he agreed, glancing around the room again. But then a thought rustled through him, ghosting his excitement. What if trying transformed not just him, but those connections he desperately wanted to make? As he continued to ponder, Maya pulled him closer. "We've got this. Let us take the next step together. Will you let me help you find your footing?" Nathan bit his lip, caught between gratitude and determination. There was something powerful in this moment, something that transcended the doubts gnawing at him. The uncertainty was still there, lurking, but so was the potential for change. "Let us do it," he said finally, his voice firm, colored with newfound conviction. "Let us make a difference." But just then, from across the hallway, a familiar voice erupted out of nowhere. "Nathan!" "Maya!" It was Alex, her casual demeanor strangely electrifying. "Where are you two headed?" "I have a crazy idea for a project." Nathan exchanged a quick glance with Maya, a mixture of excitement and trepidation blooming in tandem. His heart raced. The night felt charged with possibilities, a storm of opportunity swirling just out of sight. "What now?" he whispered to Maya, feeling the winds of change beckoning him. "We'll find out," she replied, her smile unwavering. But as they turned to face Alex, Nathan couldn't shake the question that buzzed in his mind. Was he truly ready for whatever came next? Alex's energetic wave drew them both closer, her enthusiasm palpable. "I just spoke with a few folks about starting a community initiative. Something that combines art and business development for local talent, helping emerging voices get the spotlight they so deserve." For a moment, Nathan's heart pounded with excitement. That sounds incredible. He could already see a vision unfolding in his mind, a mural splashed across a community center, a gallery of local art, buzzing workshops connecting people from different walks of life. "Yes," Maya's voice chimed in, her eyes sparkling with inspiration. "You could provide mentorship and Nathan could lead skill-building sessions. Think about the impact." But a shadow of doubt crept back in, whispering reminders of his fears. "I don't know, it sounds like a lot of responsibility. What if I can't deliver?" Nathan shook his head, trying to dispel the worries. "Nathan, listen," Alex said earnestly, stepping closer. "No one is expecting perfection. It's about sharing your story and helping others find their voice. You've just discovered how powerful that can be tonight. Imagine the ripple effect." She was right. He could feel the stirrings of energy within him, like a pot boiling over with untapped potential. Yet, beneath that surge, the old doubts clung like shadows. What if no one shows up? What if I fail to connect with them? Maya put her hand on his shoulder, grounding him. What if you succeed? The intensity in her eyes dared him to consider a different path. You don't have to do it alone. You have us. Trust yourself. This is your moment. Nathan inhaled deeply, the weight of her belief pressing against his heart like a gentle push forward. He had spoken to a room full of strangers, but this felt different. This was intimate, a chance to shape lives. His heartbeat synchronized with the possibilities around him. "What do you need from me to get started?" he asked, newfound energy propelling his words, igniting the excitement in the air. Alex's smile widened as she clapped her hands together, practically bouncing on her toes. First things first, let us gather a small team, those who believe in what we're trying to do. Then we can set up a brainstorming session and come up with a plan. Maya nodded, her enthusiasm infectious. And I can help reach out to local businesses for sponsorships, to ensure we have the resources we need. As they began mapping out their next steps, Nathan's doubt started to fade, replaced by a thrill he hadn't felt in years. Ideas flowed freely, each suggestion built on the last like a carefully crafted sculpture. During their discussion, time slipped away. Laughter bubbled up between plans and dreams. Nathan could picture a room full of artists, creators, dreamers, and believers, each one a thread in the fabric of the community they were building. The idea wasn't just thrilling. It felt necessary. But amidst the laughter, a sudden sobering thought crossed his mind. What if this turns into something bigger than I can handle? What if I can't meet the expectations? Maya leaned in, the warmth of her presence wrapping around him. You've already said that you're ready to risk falling in order to grow. This is growth, Nathan. If you need to adjust, pivot, or change, we'll do it together. Her faith in him lit a fire within his soul. He believed in them further than he believed in his doubts. As they drew their plans to a close, Nathan felt the pull of destiny tugging at him ever so gently. Okay then, let us do it, he said finally, a radiant smile breaking across his face. Let us make this happen. Just before they left, Alex raised her finger, a thoughtful look crossing her face. Wait, she said suddenly. What if we hold the first meeting somewhere actually creative? Like a rooftop garden or an art studio? That could be incredible, Maya exclaimed, her excitement palpable. As the three of them discussed possibilities, Nathan felt a new sense of purpose. But just as he envisioned their first meeting buzzing with creativity, another thought crept in the weight of expectation. What if navigating this new journey was tougher than he imagined? He looked at Maya and Alex, the determination in their eyes urging him forward, uncertainty still swirling within as he wondered. Would he rise to the challenge? Here's to new beginnings. Nathan raised his imaginary glass, laughter spilling into the air. And as they walked out into the night, he felt the winds of change continuing to shift and stir, whispers of potential surrounding him, leading him toward the next chapter, but also reminding him. Was he truly ready for this path? The next morning, sunlight filtered through Nathan's window, warming the room as if it were cheering him on. He woke up with a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in ages. The discussions filled his mind like a busy storefront window, each idea glimmering with promise. With a newfound determination, Nathan brewed a cup of coffee, the familiar aroma grounding him. He picked up his phone and began scrolling through his contacts, pausing over familiar names. Could any of them be part of this community endeavor? The excitement bubbled within him like a fresh soda, fizzing with potential. His first thought was Marco, the friend who painted murals across town. If anyone understood the transformative power of art, it was him. Nathan gathered his courage and sent a quick text, inviting Marco to brainstorm ideas. Almost immediately, a response popped up. Count me in. Let us make some magic happen. Nathan smiled, his heart beating faster. As he finished breakfast, another wave of confidence washed over him. He envisioned calling on others' friends who could contribute not only art but also ideas, guidance, support. There was Maria, the brilliant graphic designer, and Kevin, the local music producer. Each would lend their talent to the collective vision and, before long, the simple idea had morphed into something vibrant and collaborative. He jumped in the shower, excitement thrumming under his skin, and as the water cascaded over him, a thought struck him again. What if he let his fears take the lead? The questions haunted him. What if he wasn't enough? But then he remembered Alex's words, grounding him. It was about sharing stories, not about being perfect. With newfound resolve, Nathan penned a message to a small group in his contacts, inviting them to a casual meeting at a local cafe known for its artistic vibe. As he hit send, a surge of exhilaration followed. The cafe was buzzing by the time he arrived an hour later. The chatter and laughter swirled around him like a warm hug. He spotted Alex and Maya already seated at a table near the window. They greeted him with matching grins, a clear reflection of optimism. "Guess what?" Alex said, her eyes sparkling as she adjusted her camera to capture the moment. "I invited some local artists too. I thought we could get input from everyone right at the start." Maya leaned forward, her excitement palpable. "This is going to be great. The more perspectives, the better." As they chatted and waited for the rest of the crew to arrive, Nathan could feel the energy pulsing in the air. He began to relax, allowing anticipation to replace his doubts. What was once a flicker of vision was now fanning into a flame. Each person could add their unique voice to harmonize with the collective goal. With each arrival, a bubbling laughter filled the space, mingling with snippets of artistic conversation and buzzing aspirations. Nathan absorbed it all, the laughter of friends, the sparkle in young artists' eyes. It fueled him. He felt the presence of possibility like never before. Sharing ideas, bouncing concepts, he realized that collaboration wasn't just a dream. It was unfolding before him, and with it came an undeniable joy. But as they gathered in earnest, Nathan's heart raced. What if someone challenged him? What if his own ideas fell flat? Just as he was lost in that whirlpool of worry, Marco arrived, sweeping him along into a brand new discussion about a mural that could tell the community's story, entwining both history and imagination. In that moment of sharing, Nathan caught a glimpse of a deeper truth. However, as the meeting progressed, Nathan noticed a quiet girl seated in the corner, sketching intently. What was her story? What talent was waiting to be discovered in her? Before he could act on his curiosity, Maya nudged him. "You okay? You've gone a bit pale." Nathan nodded, forcing a smile while glancing back at the girl, whose eyes shimmered with a unique understanding. What if she had something profound to share? He felt drawn to her, a sudden urge building within him. With every heartbeat, Nathan realized this journey was about embracing the unexpected and so much more than he imagined. "Let us make sure everyone feels included," he said, turning to Alex and Maya with a new sense of urgency. "We need to invite voices like hers into this conversation." As the meeting shifted toward collaboration, Nathan could almost hear the whispers of destiny around him. But even as excitement swelled, the question lingered. Would he take the leap into the unknown, ready to embrace every possible connection? The moment hung in the air, heavy with promise. But what awaited him in this newfound endeavor? The air around them buzzed as one by one, new faces arrived. Nathan felt a weight of responsibility pressing upon him, but excitement pushed against it. He caught glimpses of creativity, the spark in Marco's eyes as he spoke artfully about color schemes, and Kevin's rhythmic tapping on the table as he requested a riff on a song that could serve as a backdrop to it all. But the quiet girl remained in the corner, sketching diligently. The top of her head was bowed, framing her focused expression. Nathan couldn't shake the feeling that her drawing was a part of them, weaving silently into the fabric of their meeting. He pointed her out to Alex and Maya. "Do you think she's part of the group?" he asked softly, unsure of how to bridge the gap between them. Maya glanced over, then back at Nathan. "We should find out. I'm curious too." With a deep breath, Nathan steeled himself and walked towards the girl. He didn't want to startle her, so he approached gently. "Hey there," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "What are you working on?" She looked up, surprise mingled with a flicker of uncertainty. It's just a sketch." Her voice was soft, but it held an undeniable strength. As she leaned back, Nathan caught sight of the drawing, a swirling mural filled with vibrant colors and playful shapes. It felt like the spirit of the community, alive and bursting forth from the page. "Wow," he exclaimed, genuinely impressed. "It's amazing. Feels like it has a story." Her cheeks flushed a light pink. "I wanted to portray how the neighborhood comes together, all the different people, their stories." Nathan felt a rush of connection. "We're actually here to discuss a project that focuses on community stories. Would you like to join us?" The girl hesitated, biting her lip as she wrestled with that inevitable doubt that came from years of keeping her talent in the shadows. "I don't know if please," Nathan interrupted gently. "I think your voice could add something special. We want everyone to be a part of this. It's about collaboration and celebrating our unique stories, including yours. She considered him for a beat longer, then nodded, a tiny smile creeping on her lips. Okay, ID like that. He led her back to the table. Everyone, this is Lily. She has some beautiful ideas about capturing community through her art. As Lily sat down, Nathan noticed how her nervousness transformed into excitement. Their conversation bounced back and forth, her passion igniting theirs even further. Marco began brainstorming how they could incorporate her design into the mural concept, while Kevin hummed a melody that could harmonize with Lily's visuals. The synergy in the cafe felt electric. Laughter flowed freely, ideas collided, and every minute deepened their bonds. They tossed thoughts around like a game of catch, each suggestion adding layers to their budding project. But just as they began to lose themselves in creativity, a shadow of worry flickered across Nathan's mind. What if this was just a dream? What if they couldn't bring it all together? Just as he started to spiral down that road, Alex squeezed his hand. Focus on the here and now, Nathan. This is happening. Her words anchored him. It was true, what they were creating in that moment was profound. They were building something bigger than themselves. Yet as the meeting wore on, Nathan caught sight of a figure outside the cafe, a man in a tailored suit, his expression stark against the lively scene inside. A flicker of recognition pulsed in Nathan's chest. Wasn't he that Derek, the town's wealthy benefactor who often seemed disconnected from the community's vibrancy? What was he doing there? As their discussion continued, Nathan couldn't shake the feeling that Derek's presence held significance. Were they about to cross paths with someone who could change everything, or would he be another barrier standing in the way of their dreams? The realization hit Nathan like a drumbeat inside his chest. Maybe they would have to confront more than just their own fears. Perhaps it was time to confront the very fabric of the community they were trying to uplift. And as Lily shared a hesitant but bold idea about incorporating local history into their project's narratives, Nathan found himself more aware than ever. If they truly wanted to reflect everyone's story, maybe it meant dealing not just with artistry, but with real-life challenges too. Could they voice their truth powerfully enough to reach even someone like Derek? What surprises lay ahead in the journey as they sought to bridge worlds seemingly apart? The weeks that followed felt like a whirlwind of color and creativity. The project blossomed, and Nathan hardly recognized the old version of himself, weighed down by fears. Each meeting ignited fresh ideas. Each brainstorm session with the artists, creators, and community members felt like stitching together a vibrant quilt, rich with stories and experiences. Then came the day of the mural unveiling. Nathan stood, nervous yet thrilled, staring at the massive canvas that had been transformed in the heart of their neighborhood. The cafe buzzed with life as community members gathered, the air thick with excitement and curiosity. Nathan's heart raced as he soaked in the diverse faces around him. So many lives, so many stories, all coming together in a beautiful tapestry. Maya approached him, her eyes gleaming. Today is your day, Nathan. Look at all we've accomplished together. He nodded, the weight of gratitude filling his chest. The energy sparked around him, a motion of belonging he hadn't felt before. As their plan unfolded, the supportive whispers of the community eased his anxiety. The collaboration realized everyone's dreams and showcased the splendor that came from listening. Each brushstroke on the mural told a story like the soft curves of laughter as Lily's design danced in the sun, recounting shared joy and collective struggles. Then, as the crowd embraced the mural, Nathan noticed Derek slipping into the gathering. The rumpled suit he wore looked foreign against the laughter and unstructured creativity. But deep down, Nathan hoped this encounter could hold significance, not a chance to confront him, but an opportunity to connect. With intent determination guiding him, Nathan approached Derek, who appeared uncertain, a mere spectator amid the celebration. Mr. Parker, Nathan began, his voice steady yet inviting, I'm glad you're here. This project is about weaving the community together, connecting voices. I wanted you to see what we've built. Derek's brow furrowed for a moment. Then the corners of his lips lifted slightly as his gaze shifted to the mural. Looks impressive, he replied. But Nathan wasn't going to let this be a passing compliment. None of this would have happened without everyone's passion and effort. I believe we could turn this energy into something bigger. We're pouring our hearts into revitalizing our neighborhood. For the first time, he caught a flicker of interest behind Derek's traditionally steely demeanor. What do you mean by bigger? He probed, a glimmer of curiosity in his eyes. Nathan took a deep breath, heart racing. We want to create a space for skilled workshops, mentorship, community gatherings. We want to empower the next generation, show them the opportunities that exist. But we need support to bring this vision to life. As he spoke, a chorus of laughter erupted behind them. Friends and families mingled, basking in the success of their collaboration. In that moment, Nathan forged a connection not just with Derek, but with the collective hope surrounding them. Derek paused, his expression softening. I never saw it this way. These stories are compelling. Yes, they're vital, Nathan implored, spirits lifting. Together, we can make a difference that resonates beyond this mural. Your influence could help unlock doors for many, show them they matter, spark interests, and create opportunities. The silence stretched between them, inviting a more profound realization. Nathan saw not just a wealthy benefactor, but a potential ally ready to embrace something new. Derek pinched the bridge of his nose, thoughtful. Let me speak with some people. We might be able to collaborate. It's a start. A rush of warmth surged through Nathan, heart pounding, hope taking new root. Thank you, Mr. Parker. As they parted ways, Nathan returned to Maya, eyes shining with promise. Yes, considering working with us. This could shift everything for our project. Maya's face lit up, her excitement contagious. And just think of the ripple effect. Our mural, our shared stories, it could become a model for other communities. 2. The evening wore on, blossoming with connection, adventure, and unfurling dreams. Laughter flew through the air like butterflies, and as they celebrated, Nathan realized that the courage to speak, to act, turned mere thoughts into powerful movements. His soul thrummed with gratefulness for this chance to combine ambition with authenticity to the heart of the gathering. With people he loved around him, Nathan understood that this was merely the beginning. They faced their fears together, built something remarkable, and opened the door to endless possibilities. Every story mattered. Every voice deserved to be heard as they stood around the mural, gazing at what they created. A familiar warmth enveloped him. Ready for the next chapter? Maya whispered, leaning into him, hope sparkling in her eyes. Absolutely, he said with a radiant smile. Let us keep believing and building. And as dawn broke over their neighborhood, casting golden light on each story shared upon the vibrant mural, they stepped forward, ready to embrace whatever came next with unwavering hearts and dreams intertwined. Now, this is where you come in. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that will uplift and inspire like this one. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help more people discover these incredible transformations. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this amazing conclusion. Your voice matters. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to feel this powerful change and inspiration in their lives. You need to support the channel. This is the moment. Don't wait not even one more second to share.